So I have the next few days to myself. I am alone as my partner has gone away, and I wanted to basically try and knock out as many books as I can in this time that I'm not with my partner. When I'm spending time with him, we have like our own individual time, but then we also like to spend time together. So I have to compromise my reading time to spend time with him, such as he has to compromise his gaming time to spend time with me. But yeah, whilst he's not here, I wanted to see how many books I could fully read. I am only 3 books away from my yearly Goodreads goal. I set that for 30 this year as I'm a full-time student, so I didn't want to set my target too high if I wasn't able to meet it. But I'm so close to meeting it. I'm 3 books away, so I'm hoping that I can kind of reach that target now. That would be amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to basically do maybe like, I don't know what to call this video yet. I'll figure out what to call it, but basically it's just a read with me video. I'm just gonna film what I'm reading and my thoughts and things at the same time, just so I don't get bored either, because I have a feeling I'm gonna get very bored if I'm not like entertaining myself constantly. And just whilst I have you here, I'm going to talk about my last read, which was Restore Me by Tahira Mafi. I think that's how you pronounce her name, I'm not too sure there. Which is book 4 in the Shatter Me series. First of all, if you haven't picked this series up already, I know it's massive, like it's so popular, but if you haven't decided to give it a go, I would say, and especially if you're not really into fantasy, I would say give it a go, because I don't read fantasy books. Like I've read, as far as fantasy's gone, I've read ACOTAR, like literally just A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've not read any of the others. However, the second one is on my TBR for September. But if you haven't read any and you're wanting to get into it, this is a great place to start because it's not too heavy. It is more of a dystopian. It gives me very much Divergent, Hunger Games kind of vibes. And the way it's written is her writing's so easy to read, but also just I don't really know how to explain it. It's so beautiful and very lyrical, but also just really easy, and you just keep going and going and going, like you just keep turning the pages. And also the chapters are really short in like all of these books. But yes, I finished this one yesterday. I basically pretty much read it in one sitting. I don't know what was in this book for me to love it so much, because I know a lot of people don't like, they said that this one has like a weird dynamic compared to the rest of them, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. And yeah, it's just, I really enjoyed how this book went down. Ignite Me is still my favourite. That is still a 5-star read for me. And Shatter Me, like the first book, will always hold a special place just because it's the first book in the series. But yeah, this book was great. So I don't know whether to, the annoying thing is I don't have the next book like physically. I only have, like, I don't know why, but I bought them all individually, and Ignite Me is also an American copy because I bought it whilst I was in Florida. So I didn't even have like a full series. So I don't know whether to just download the next one on my Kindle to read it, or whether to start a new book and have a break in between, because that's what I've been doing for the rest of the series. But like this book was like, it kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but not really. But like I just really want to know, I want to carry on reading, so I might set the next one, is it Defy Me? I think Defy Me is the next one, as my next book. But yeah, I loved this book. Aaron Warner, you have my entire heart. I can't explain how much that man means to me. If you've read the books, you will know. I think Defy Me might be my next one. there's one thing about Tahira Mafi's writing style, is that she will just drop the most atrocious, outrageous piece of information or plot twist so casually. Like, you will not be prepared for it. You just sit there reading, and then all of a sudden just one little line. This one was exactly 3 words long, and it has changed the trajectory of this book so quickly. I'm gobsmacked. I don't know what to do with myself right now. I wish I just filmed my reaction to that, and there's already like so much happening. I'm so scared. Hello, so I'm about, I want to say 25% of the way through Defy Me now. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, again, it just, like, so much just happens straight away. I mean, this is like, what is it, the 4th book? No, 5th book. Wow, okay. It's the 5th book, and so there's no need to wait. We just get straight into it. But went book shopping yesterday. I decided to go into town. Very bad decision, because I came back with far too much. I got some new pyjamas and took a trip to Waterstones. So I managed to find the physical copy of Defy Me, and I'm so happy, because usually my Waterstones doesn't have like any of like the others in the series. Like, for anything, like whenever I go to buy the next book in a series, they never have it, but they had Defy Me. So I'm gonna start reading the physical one now, and then I'll take my Kindle like when I go out. But it's just because I love a physical book, and plus I needed it for the series anyway. I also then got Imagine Me, because I'm definitely going to want to read this one next. This one's actually quite thick compared to the rest of them. But yeah, I got this. They did have the novellas as well. However, I know that the works sell the bundle of novellas like together for like £12 or something, so I'm just going to go and get those because it'll work out cheaper, and I'll get them all in one go so I'm not waiting for any of them. And then I also picked up Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I've seen this book all over my Bookstagram, and I'd like to dabble into a little bit of dark romance. Plus, I want to get into my fantasy era, so what better than to try and combine the both of them. Plus, Peter Pan is one of my favourite childhood movies, so I'm quite excited for this one. And I know a lot of trustworthy people that have said this one's very good. I only went for this one because I did search and find out that all of the books are like standalone, so you don't need to read all of them in the series to understand what's happening, which is great because I wasn't really bothered about the other ones, but I really wanted to read this one. So if I like this one, then I might pick the others up because I've heard that they're good as well. But I'm really excited to read that. So very bad. I shouldn't have gone out. I actually only went out to go and get a candle, which I did do. I got a little, oh careful, got a little pumpkin spice one from TK Maxx. It smells great. I've been lighting it. It's literally, it's gonna be gone by the time it even gets to autumn because it smells so good. But it's okay because they had plenty, so I can just go and pick up another one. But yeah, currently I am uploading another video onto YouTube. I'm just waiting for it to upload, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go to work, and then when I get home from work, I'm gonna go and try. I want to at least get to halfway through this book today, which shouldn't be too hard. I need to actually put my bookmark in because I haven't read any more. I didn't read any of the physical books since the reading it on my Kindle, so I need to put my bookmark in where I am. But yeah, I want to try and get at least 50% of the way through the book today. It shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, it's the missile guy. I get you. cute one. So last night I finished Defy Me. It was about 360 pages, so it didn't take me too long to get through. And I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. I gave Restore Me 4.75 and Ignite Me 5 stars. So that's just kind of like reference if you are reading or have read the series. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was slightly different to the other books because it really like went into detail about their past, which I actually quite enjoyed. I enjoyed learning more about the characters and understanding the type of life that they lived before they knew each other. And if you've read this one, you will know we get some pretty juicy stuff in this. It was a very good read. I really enjoyed it. Very quick, again, as most of Tahira Matthews' books are. The chapters are really short, and this one was actually a triple point of view. Crazy, insane. I've never like know so much so quickly, but yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think Ignite Me is still my favorite though. It is the only one that I've given 5 stars to, but yeah, I really enjoy it. I have Imagine Me. I don't know whether I want to read that next because this one didn't leave us on a cliffhanger. The Restore Me left us on a cliffhanger, so that's why I picked up this one straight away. But this one doesn't. So part of me feels like I can just leave this one for now and pick up another book, and then I'll get back to Imagine Me soon. I bought like some new books, and there's some more on my TBR that I really want to read. We'll see. So I thought I'd just give a quick update. I have started reading Hooked by Emily McIntyre since I finished Defy Me. And I'm 120 pages in and I'm really enjoying it so far. I have not read any dark romances before. It's a dark romance and fractured fantasy if anybody hasn't read it. But yeah, I haven't read any before. I've read the Mindfuck series, which I think some people would argue it's a dark romance. However, it's not a dark romance in the sense that there's not really like anything kind of like kinky or strange happening. It's just simply that it's a dark setting and it's very spicy. Like, I think that that's kind of how that one falls in my mind. Like, it wasn't weird to me. Like, there was no weird things happening, whereas in this, even now, like 100 pages in, our main male character has said some questionable things and I'm like, oh, okay. So I haven't read anything like this before. So I wasn't really sure what I was expecting going into it. I think initially I was expecting it almost to kind of follow the same narrative structure as a romance, and it didn't do that. So in my head I was like, this is all happening way too quickly. They're all getting way too involved. But it's a dark romance. It's bound to happen because that's the point of it. The point of it is for like the spicy scenes. So I kind of I've pushed that thought aside and I'm more prepared for it now. Still not prepared, I don't think, for the content, but I'm more prepared for it. I have never owned a book that had an author's note at the front, which was what got me the most. And it was on about if you're looking for a bad guy turn into the hero, this is not the book for you. Reader discretion is advised. And I know for dark romance readers, this is probably completely normal, but I'm not one, so I wasn't ready for that. And I was like, oh, okay. I was tempted to search up the triggers just in case there was anything in here that I really wasn't going to enjoy. But then I was like, but it would ruin the shock value of it. I feel like the point of it is also to have a bit of shock value. So I haven't. So I don't know what's going to come up. But I did also just think well, if it gets too heavy, I can just stop reading it. But I don't think it's going to. And I'm enjoying the premise of it. I really like the fact that it's a fractured fantasy because, like I said, Peter Pan was my favourite movie when I was a kid. So having it in an adult kind of form, I know it's not like a retelling, but it's using the same characters and stuff. It honestly kind of in a weird way nostalgic because I'm like, oh my god, that was in Peter Pan, like, oh, I get that reference and stuff, and the writing's very clever. So I've officially finished Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I rated it 4 stars. I was on the cusp of a 3.75 and a 4, but I went for the upper purely because I think, just because I've never read anything like this. I've never read a fractured fantasy, and I thought that the premise was quite interesting. However, it was going to be a 3.75 because there is one of my least favourite tropes in this book, which was miscommunication. I hate when miscommunication is used as like a third act conflict. Hate it. I don't know why, but I'm just, especially when it's a dual POV like this book is, I just get so frustrated. I'm like, literally, just listen to each other, just shut up and listen to each other. But that's not my problem. The only book that gets away with it is Magnolia Parks, because the whole premise is miscommunication. So that is really the only book that gets away with it. But when it's used as a third act conflict, like when it's used to basically create a problem, I don't like it. But this, I enjoyed the setting, I enjoyed the romance, I enjoyed everything really, and I expected it to be a lot darker than it was. It wasn't as dark as I was expecting, but I feel like that was purely because I was so nervous to go into it that I didn't like know what I really was expecting. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be in terms of like the dark romance aspect. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Also, the only other thing that I didn't really enjoy about this book was the extended epilogue, because I hate epilogues in general. I don't know why. I don't mind if it's like a short little, like maybe 3 pages epilogue. We don't need a long epilogue. We don't need them. So when an author does an extended epilogue, I'm like, is it really necessary? This one was not. This one was not. However, it didn't take away from the actual story, so I let it slide. I'm just going to pretend I didn't read it. I just kind of skimmed over it, to be honest. I was like, yeah, okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed it as my first official dark romance. I also got sent a book on my, that's my iPad, but I have it just on there for now because I was like, I'm going to try reading on my iPad, even though I have a Kindle, which is in perfectly good use, but oh well. Yes, I got sent a book, which I am currently reviewing. It's just a small fantasy novella. At the moment it's quite interesting actually. I'm quite interested in the story, but I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah. Okay, it's the evening now, so I'm going to leave the video here. I finished The Wish by Catherine Taylor, which was the short fantasy novella that I was reviewing. I have a review up on my Instagram for that one now. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It was good if you're looking for like a very easy fantasy to read. I definitely recommend it. But yeah, other than that, that's all from me.